Hey, it's your girl Cassandra Lynn, aka your favorite paralegal, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. I hope you guys have had an amazing and productive day and a safe Halloween. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the appeals case that's going on for Mr. Daystar Peterson, aka Mr. Torey Lanez. What is really going on? Some speculation his appeal was granted, and that's just not the case. So let's hop right into it. So there's two things that I'm going to show you guys. I am going to show you guys the appeals case, and then I'm going to show you guys the habeas corpus that he actually filed. Now, the appeals case is what he filed because he is trying to have the appellate court review the decision that the trial court made. That's the reason why he is currently incarcerated, right? The habeas corpus or the writ for habeas corpus that he filed, and that's a separate matter. He is pretty much, in simplest terms, requesting to go before the court to determine if his incarceration is illegal. Okay, so those are the two things that are going on right now. So let's take a look at the well, actually, let's do the habeas corpus first, since that is doesn't have a lot of action on there. If I can get to my tablets. Okay. And while I am going through that, and like I said, for the habeas corpus, that it's him wanting to get a hearing so he can say, hey, did you guys make an error in me? Like, is my incarceration necessary? Did you rule in error? That's pretty much what he's trying, well, his attorneys is fighting for. This was actually filed almost a year ago. December 12th, 2023 is when he filed the petition for a writ of habeas corpus. And then there has not been a lot of movement, only because you do have the appellate court case reviewing, the lower court's decision at the time. So as you can see, the last entry was on 10/21, and that's in regard to the case that I'm about to show you guys. So as you can see, not a lot of stuff that's going on here. So let me tap over to the other screen, and then we can look at that case. So I don't know. I've seen a docket or a document on there, and I'm just clueless as to how that came about and why it says that the appeal was granted. It's very odd. Um so I have no clue what that is. I honestly don't. But here is the register of actions for the actual appeal. Okay. The parties in this case is pretty much, so you have the people, which is considered the plaintiff and the respondent. And then you have the defendant or the appellant, which is Tory Lanez. Okay. Now let's look at the docket. Now, I don't know. I've done a video. I believe it was in the summer. I don't know exactly where I left off, but I do know it was talking about a motion for discovery that he filed in regards to new evidence. And then I know the state or the people were requesting um, extensions. So I know that's where we left off. So let me kind of scroll down to about the summertime. So here, I believe this is where we kind of left off. So June 21st, a motion was filed, motion for relevant evidence. And it shows by Mr. Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez. Um, uh, a motion. It shows that it was granted for extension of time. Can't even, I honestly don't remember. Let's see. An order was filed on July 2nd, and this was the court considering Tory Lane's June 21st motion for relevant evidence, as well as his motion for discovery, and it shows good reason. Appearing the motion for discovery will be considered with his petition for writ of habeas corpus on December 12th, 2000, that he filed on that day. So that they are considering the motion for discovery for the additional or relevant evidence, as well as his writ of habeas corpus. And that was in July. So keep up with these dates. Let's see. So a brief was filed. So the respondent, which is a state. Let's see. And I guess it was a lot because it's saying that it cannot exceed 25,000. But not to exceed 29,000. And length exceeding, okay, so that's saying that that's how much it is, but it can't exceed that. All right, cool. Next thing you know, on August 5th, someone filed a motion to compel responses for relevant evidence. Okay, so I don't know if Tory Lanez people filed a motion for responses for relevant evidence to them, or if that is vice versa. That's crazy. So, whoever it is, they're saying, hey, we need these responses. Give us these responses. So, motion to compel responses for relevant evidence pursuant to Penal Code, Memorandum of Points and Authorities, and Declaration of Appellant. All right, so he's the appellant. So, actually, his attorneys filed a motion to compel towards the plaintiff and the respondent. Let's see. Bam. And if I would have went read a little bit lower, I would have found my answer. So on August 8th, it says the court is in receipt of petitioners Daystar Peterson's August 5th, 2024 motion to compel responses for relevant evidence. As the motion acknowledges, petitioner previously filed on June 21st a motion for relevant evidence. On July 2nd, the court issued an order stating that the motion for discovery will be considered along with his petition for habeas corpus. Per the prior order, discovery has not been allowed at this time. Petitioner's August 5th motion is therefore inappropriate and thus denied. So that was straight denied. Denied. So let's see, we got an extension and then appellant's reply brief. So that was submitted by Mr. Tory Lanez, or his attorney. And so now, as of October 21st, the case has been fully briefed, meaning that the people or the state of California have submitted their brief, and defendant Tory Lanez and his attorney has submitted their brief. So now the court has to take in consideration everything that has been included in the brief. And the brief will include it's going to include, it's kind of hard to, I want to show y'all, but I don't feel like pulling all that up. It is going to include one, the issues that they feel, and when I say they, Tory Lanez attorneys feel that the lower court ruled in error in. So they can say they, ruled in error by not reviewing all of the evidence. Okay, so it's certain issues. So it's gonna list the issues. It's going to include cases that could be reviewed, some cases that are similar to this particular case. So they have to cite case law. They have to make an argument. A brief is long, it is time consuming, but it's packed with a lot of information. And this is what the appellate court is going to look at. It's going to look at both parties' briefs, and then they're going to say, okay, this is what we decide. So the appellate court's job is to determine whether or not they ruled in error. If they do, that can overturn the trial court's decision and possibly free Tory Lanez. But if the appellate court um, determined that the trial court did not rule in error, then he has to stay where he's at. Now, on the flip side of that, if they say, okay, they did not rule in error, then what's going to happen to the habeas corpus? They probably going to do away with it because there was no error found. But if they say, okay, an error was found, they did rule in such a manner that was not um lawful, then they would consider his habeas corpus, giving him the opportunity to go before the judge and to determine whether his incarceration was legal. So, yeah, when you get to the appellate court portion of this, it is very tedious, and you have to have a a really, really good appellate attorney, an attorney that specifically works in appellate courts. See, that's a lot of people don't realize that you have attorneys, like all attorneys can't do everything. Okay. You can have a trial court attorney that's not good in appellate court, right? You can have an appellate court attorney that is good in both trial and appellate court. So be mindful the next time that you have to have, somebody where you have to file in a appeals court. Make sure you have somebody to actually practice in the appeals court. But yeah, so I hope this brought some type of clarification. I'm not going to ask y'all what y'all think about this video in the comments and put it in the comments below. I'm not going to do that because this was more for informational purposes. So both appeals are still pending. The appeal where they are looking at the court's decision, it is still pending only because they just submitted the last brief. So they have to go through briefs. All right. That's going to take a minute. All right. As far as the habeas corpus, that writ, it is just going to sit there because as we seen, they're not going to consider this at the moment because they are looking at everything that has been submitted thus far. Okay. So if you have any questions regarding this, drop it in the comments below. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, be blessed and I'm out. Bye.